Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Natalie, and this is,
Hi guys, Rod. Good to see everyone.
and yeah, we will be doing our spring energy group healing to support you all on letting go, as well as calling in this new energy and healing that you desire. So, Rod, do you want to start by introducing yourself and telling everyone a little bit about what you do?
I would love to. Thank you, Natalie. Hi everyone. My name is Rod Bravo. I guess simple terms, I'm a scientist, a technologist, and a spiritualist. I did my undergrad at Harvard, where that's where I got my foundations in science. I started then my work in medical school. That's something that's a career that's like always been developing in parallel to me as really first and foremost a self-healed patient. Ever since I was a kid, I've really endured a large number of really rare, difficult diagnoses that really don't really have fixes in our modern day world. And it was really through this medium of trying to understand the depths of all we know of science and how that became a practice of energy medicine, meditation, and even explorations of my other incarnations through hypnosis and past life work that I happen to completely heal myself of all of my conditions. This is like what I do for my work, and I love to meet other healers and fellow beings who like to help others, like Natalie, to bring a little bit of like what I like to call personal enlightenment. I think enlightenment looks different for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, so my name is Natalie, and I have been practicing Reiki for about 7 or 8 years now. And I really learned about healing growing up. My aunt lived in New Hampshire on the top of a mountain, and my family's in Georgia, but we would spend our summers up there, and she would teach Reiki classes and angel healing, and she sold essential oils and did all the things. So we built fairy houses together. So I was kind of introduced to this world at a really young age. And my aunt passed away this past year, and I feel like I've just been last spring, I guess, so about a year now. Whenever I was up there, I just felt like I wanted to carry on her legacy. And I never, of course, expected, like, when I was younger, with the internet and everything, just being on TikTok and Zoom calling and doing all the energy healing like online. But it's so cool that we can, be in person together and do this, as well as share from, all across the world and the country. And that energy is just so fluid, and it is all about our intentions. And so, yeah, I'm really grateful to experience all this with you all. And also a little bit more about my background. I'm trauma informed and a certified detox specialist. And I also specifically do womb healing with a lot of people. So I help people energetically shift any pain or trauma that they might have stored in their womb in order to have a deep healing. And yeah, that's what I love to do. And I love to hold circles and sacred circles with women and do retreats and all that fun stuff. So I'm really grateful to be here with Rod, because I feel like we just mesh with our energy, and we bring different modalities to the table. But it's going to be just really exciting we've been preparing all day and bringing in the energy, because this is such a big group. And the more that we work together, we really amplify the energy. And so I'm really excited that there's so many of us on here tonight. Rod, do you want to share a little bit about how what we're gonna start with?
Would love to. So I guess just to kick things off, everyone, there's a lot of new faces here that I believe I am new to, and Natalie as well. Just sort of like laying the groundwork for how does this kind of work really go. We took a look through a lot of the beautiful and amazing intentions that many of you are coming with today, and I think there was a lot of energy of I want to be in a different place. I want to be rid of this. I want to be healed from this kind of a thing. A lot of these healings, they really are what you make of them. We are going to be creating a space that has a lot of energy, has a lot of, let's call it like potential. We're going to be starting off with a journaling, like a writing activity, first 5 to 10 minutes, through which we're going to be asking participants to write about two things. Maybe the first 3 to 4 minutes is to really get down details and feelings of how you are now, where you are now, the feelings that you're carrying now. And then the second part, another 45 minutes, is going to be getting down like the details and the feelings of your end goal. What do you want to be feeling? Where do you want to be? Think of it almost as the goal, or maybe like a before and after. The energy and the setting and the space that we're going to be manifesting in a couple of minutes is going to be all about empowering the individuals here today to make that transition easier. Really take on the energy of spring. Spring is about sort of like bursting forth, getting to new life, out with the old kind of energy. Natalie's going to be having some wonderfully relaxing music going on in the background. We're going to be asking everyone to keep themselves muted, which we can do as well, just to prevent any interference with anything like that. Yeah, Natalie?
Yeah, I'm going to be, during the actual healing, I have water that I'm going to be pouring into my bowl, and I'm going to be sending energy through the water, because water amplifies, and it's like, I've studied a lot about water, and it's like a miracle medium. It really amplifies energy. And one time I made a TikTok with water, and people were like, "You were in my dream," and all of this stuff, like hundreds of people. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do water to support us tonight, because it's such an amplifier. So, you might, have sense of wateriness or just lightness during this experience. When you're actually in the experience, just all you have to do is relax and receive. You can lie down. Will guide you to relax your body. And really, it's just about opening up, and creating a space within yourself for your intentions to flow through. So I understand a lot of you all who came this way have dealt with different chronic illness and stuff like that, came up in a lot of the comments. And I feel like that's because both Rod and I have dealt with that too. And so I know the space that you can be in when you're either like dealing with a main illness struggle, or even like healing trauma, where you just feel so like stuck, and you can come into things with this desperate energy, like, oh, I need to heal myself, I need to figure this out, I need to let this go, like all that. And that desperation actually like blocks us from being able to be at peace with where we are. And when we come to this space of peace, then the miracles can come in, then the beauty can flow. And so one main intention tonight as well is just creating space within yourself to receive whatever you need to receive, and giving yourself a break and having compassion. Like, your body is enough as it is right now. Your heart is enough, as your healing is enough as it is. Like, come to this space within yourself that you are already enough. And even if you're struggling with XYZ, like, your spirit is still infinite. And that's the truth of who you are. And so as you anchor into this, that's when we can make the shifts in the physical. And so you don't have to do anything tonight except set your intentions, and then just be, receive, and let the energy do the work. So with that, we want to start the journaling exercise. If everyone has a pen or a paper. And yeah, the first question that Rob mentioned is, begin to write about where you're at right now. What are you struggling with? What's beautiful in your life? The details of any stuckness you might be feeling, and just how you're actually feeling in your body these days. I'm going to play some music as you focus on that. For anyone just coming in, we're starting with a journal question of what are you feeling right now? What's going on in your life right now? For those who've just come in, we're journaling about where we're at right now, what you're experiencing in your life. Feel free to actually write down if there's something that's really bothering you deeply. Maybe you haven't said it out loud to anyone, or you need to, you haven't said it out loud, or you want to admit something to yourself. Now is the time. You're in a safe space. So if any deep emotions come up tonight, tears are energy in motion and they're release. So you're safe to go as deep as you need to tonight. And whenever you're ready, you can start journaling about what you're moving into. How do you want to feel in your body, in your new reality? What do you want to believe about yourself and about life? What is that shift you never even let yourself believe you are capable of making? Don't limit yourself with your intentions. It doesn't have to be anything grand. As you begin to wrap up, start to settle in. Taking as much time though as you need to finish writing. I'm going to start by lighting this candle for us all. As the fire burns, we activate your intentions. If you want to lay down, you can lay down. If you want to sit up, you can sit up. Whatever feels best for you. And you can always switch positions if you want to start laying down or start sitting up. Do you want to lead us in a little bit and I can continue?
Sure. So, in the last couple of minutes, we've all been taking a little bit of time to really get down some things on paper that may not be the prettiest for us to admit and know about what's up in our lives. And we've balanced it out with where we want to be, how things could be better. Um, there's a story and an experience that's there for each of us, for each of you, to get from that beginning into that end. And so, as we really prepare to feel and take on those feelings and emotions, I want maybe many of you or any of you who are newer to this kind of practice to embrace possibility, practice open-minded, like how could this happen? How does this work? How does energy really operate? It's timeless, first of all. So if there may ever be a time when you want to come back to this and replay it and re-experience, it does work like that. It's actually very cool how it works like that. It'll take on a different characteristic and persona for everyone who's here. Everyone's living their own fractal of reality, but we're all very connected, which is what makes this very, very wonderful opportunity. One key difference in working alone versus maybe with Natalie is how when like-minded people come together, and maybe a bunch of people come together who want things to improve or change or modify in life, energy doesn't sum like 1 + 1. It's like an exponent. It's like 1 to the power of 10. So it rapidly magnifies. And for those of you who may be energy sensitive, you may perceive a shift in your energy and the energy of your space in your room. As my mentor taught me, it's not a sit still, be still contest or competition. If you need to take a break, have some water, go to the restroom, empower yourself, empower your body, do as what is needed, that is best for you. Healing and changing life is not all ups, it's not all downs, it's not all plateaus. It goes like every which way. Um, Cameras on off, whatever you like. We just ask everyone remain muted until the very end. We're going to be starting the energy sort of like a channel to really open wide and for all to receive for the next, maybe we can say 30 to 40 minutes. We're going to be extending our time for those of you who may wish to stay up after for us to discuss our experiences while we were working, and should anybody want to share their own experiences, and we'll have a little Q&A as well. We will stick after for a bit for any to discuss.
Thank you. Okay, so wherever you are, if you just want to settle in deeper and come to your breath, inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Inhaling into your stomach all the way. Exhaling through your nose. Inhaling through your nose deep down into your pelvis. Exhaling through your mouth. Letting it all go. Inhaling again deep down. And on this next exhale, I want you to sigh. Exhale on noise. So whatever noise you need to make. Inhale. Exhale on sound. Now coming to your even breath. Just beginning to notice your body. Notice the sensations in your body. In this next inhale, you're going to feel what you're holding on to. And as you exhale, you're just going to imagine it drops through you all the way into the earth. Inhale. Exhale. You drop down. Begin to relax your jaw. Relax the muscles around your eyes. Relax the top of your head and all the tension that your head can hold from holding your facial expressions. Just let it melt like silly putty. Now relax the bottoms of your feet. Thanking your feet for holding you up, for transporting you. Relax your stomach. This is where we often try to protect ourselves. So it can be hard to feel deeply into the awareness of our stomachs. I want you to just let your body know you are safe. You are safe to just release any spaces where you've been protecting. Even if it's only for this moment, for this experience. Wherever you're bracing for impact, for heartache, for trauma, for grief, fear. Realize that you can unbrace for this moment, and that your body deserves to have a moment to be free, to be relaxed, to restore. If anything arises as you begin to relax, just let it go. Just let it express however it needs to be. It's like when you've been going and going because you feel like you can't stop, and then you finally stop and you just feel like you could sleep for days. That can happen when we begin to relax. Our body can have all these emotions that want to move out of us. Sometimes we have to let these go so that we can create space for the feelings we're calling in. You are safe now. You are held in unconditional love and support. All there is this moment right now. And all the love that is here to support you. The past does not exist right now. Maybe it's existing as a feeling in your body. So just allow love and healing to move into that feeling. Because you no longer have to hold on to it to protect yourself. It is safe to let it go. Just acknowledge any part of you that's scared to fully surrender, to fully feel safe in your body. That part of you is just trying to protect you. So you can speak to that part of you and say, it is safe now. Now focus on your heart. Imagine it is opening to receive all of the love, healing, and energy. It is blooming like a flower or like a bright golden light. It is opening, 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 because it's safe to let something new come in. It is safe to receive all the love you've given out to the world and to others. come back to you tenfold because you deserve it. Feel the energy around the outside of your body, on your skin. Now feel it expanding out about an inch, 2 inches, throughout the whole room you're in. Let your energy release what no longer serves it and open and expand to the infinite healing and love. Now I'm going to lead you through a short visualization to drop fully in, to receive your experience tonight. So just imagine that you're walking through a beautiful forest. With every step, your feet touch the earth. The energy of Mother Earth flows into you. You hear the birds around you. You feel the wind on your skin. The trees open up to a beautiful beach. You feel the warmth of the sand, the sun's beautiful rays shine upon you. You find a nice space to sit on the sand. And you look out upon the ocean. You see the sun above the ocean. And the rays come down into your eyes. This is no ordinary light. This is no ordinary ocean. This is the ocean of holy love. So you look up at the light coming down upon you. I want you to let the light guide you now. Begin to come back into your body, keeping your eyes closed, thanking all of the energy that has supported you tonight. Saying goodbye. Thanking yourself for showing up for yourself. As you begin to bring your awareness to the space you're in, notice the temperature on your skin. Notice how your body is feeling now. You can begin to ground in, imagining yourself like a tree planted here on this earth for your purpose, for your mission. You are needed here now, in this time and space and reality. You're in this body, on this planet, right now for a reason. So come back into the room that you're in. Whenever you're ready, starting to wiggle your fingers and your toes, waking your body up just a little bit. And you can begin to open your eyes and come back to us so slowly as you need. And what you're feeling, the energy may continue on beyond today, may continue to work with you throughout this rest of the week and the weekend. So go easy on yourself as you come back now and for the days to come. Rod, do you want to share a little bit?
Sure. Getting back into my own body felt really really strong. Right at the beginning, I saw a lot of blue before we really got into the beat setting. Um, to me, that's always been a sign of very enlightened, very powerful being um, who was really helping to facilitate and support a lot of this. If anyone ascribes to any of the Abrahamic religions and faiths, it really gave me a feeling of what's known as Archangel Michael. Um, um, lot different colors. There was a lot of gold and white. I usually see different variations of light, like chromotherapy, be transmitted through this form of Reiki. But this time it was just very bright, very golden, very bright, almost white. Um, there was a lot of undulating. I felt I felt so many of you just in this like think of like the Dead Sea in the Mediterranean, kind of floating, very still, very rejuvenating waters, very mineralized almost, um, almost like pulsations of a frequency that was needed by the majority, if not all, that kind of came out. My core is very hot and I was sweating a lot at the beginning, but my hands are very cold. That's a novel thing for me. How about you, Natalie? Care to share?
Yeah, so I felt, especially once we got deeper in and I was really connecting you all with you all, I felt like your energy is on a more personal level. Um, I started to feel, well, one message that came through was ask for help. And I feel like the energy of this collective is very much a giver type energy and caretaker energy, and just always putting other people first. Um, and it may be hard for you to ask for the help that you need, but it's time to receive because we have to have balance within ourselves. And so learning to receive is a skill. And so learning to ask for help, like I feel like the message is like you're so deserving of asking for help. Like you've given out so much that it's just natural that you would deserve to receive all of that back. In any different way, maybe not even how you're expecting. Don't force areas where you're not getting anything from someone. Just like sit back and accept first and foremost that you're worthy of receiving, and you don't always have to operate as the giver. And also another meaning for that ask for help is that if you know whatever faith you ascribe to, or spirituality, or anything bigger than yourself, you can call upon that and ask, but you have free will, so you must ask. And so sometimes you might forget that all you have to do is ask, and your logical mind's trying to figure out and find solutions and everything. But if you could just for a moment drop your logical mind and stop trying to force, trying to control, trying to figure it all out, and just say, I ask for help from the higher power, for something that's more intelligent and infinite beyond what my little brain can come up with. And that will lead you every day. If you start with that, you'll get the little breadcrumbs. Um, but you also have to let go of your control as well with that, because part of maybe not getting what you want is trying to hold so tight to it and control it. Let it go, ask for help, and just let that energy be able to flow through your life instead of trying to make the energy happen. And then the visuals that I was getting at the end, I saw us all in this room connecting. And I began then to see people's inner children, or just the hurt parts of people. And I saw someone like longer hair, just like kind of crying. And I went over and like brushed their hair. And then all of a sudden, we were in this all together in this like kind of retreat setting. And I felt like people were getting to like healing waters, and everyone was just like in this like healing space. And it goes back to that receiving. It was like everyone kind of needed, even if it's mentally going into a retreat, but the energy of retreat, the energy of calm, the energy of taking care of yourself, the energy of being nourished, And I was just holding that space and seeing everyone just finding whatever nourishment they needed, whether that was like hugging someone else or like getting their hair brushed or like sitting in a bathtub of like healing waters. It was whatever everyone needed. And so I leave you all with, remember to do to open to receive to the things that you need that will help you, and the energy. And if you thought like, oh, getting my hair brushed sounds really nice, like no one's ever brushed my hair in a long time, and me saying that stirred something in you, notice that and realize like you can call that kind of energy in. You can call nurturing in for yourself instead of always being the nurturer. So yeah, that's definitely what I received. And we're going to open up the space to for people to share. It's getting a little bit close. We have to the time of leaving. So well, the time that we said it ended at 8:15 Eastern. So we'll go longer for sure. But if you need to hop off in the next 10 minutes, be sure to do that. And we will send you the recording later if you need to go soon. But before we leave, just wanted to let you guys know that we will be doing another healing in 2 weeks. So that is April 14th, I think. Same time on a Thursday. And we'll be emailing that out to you all. This is our first one. And we were like, you know what, let's do another one. So we'll be doing that. And then I also have a podcast/membership coming out, and Rod will be speaking on one of the episodes. And the membership, I will be uploading tools monthly to share with you all. This is the first time I've announced this, so I'm like, oh, I'm really doing it. It feels good though. Yeah, it's like going to be like a toolkit of healing modalities and support for people on their healing journeys, just emotionally, spiritually, physically. And you guys will have first access onto the wait list for that. If you're interested, I will be emailing that as well. And Rod will be we'll be doing a guided meditation for that membership. And we'll have just other amazing healers on that. So if you enjoyed the energy that we're bringing tonight, then, and you feel like more healing tools would be supportive for you, then I'll be emailing that out, and you can sign up or ask me any questions. We want to invite people on. You can also share your experience in the chat if that feels better for you. But if anyone wants to share 3 minute of what they are feeling, or ask us a question or what they experienced, then you can do the raise your hand button, I think, and then I can unmute you. Let's see.
Something I typically share after this kind of work is done. It happens on an energetic level. And from what I've seen through many people in the past, is the physical body takes a little bit of time to what we call really integrate a lot of what's going on, for you to maybe even become consciously aware of what was happening. Some people may have felt a lot, other people may have felt absolutely nothing. And it's really perfect both ways. For some of those who may be more energy sensitive, if they ever feel like you need any sort of grounding, this may be like just a lot of energy was kind of transduced. It's really helpful to touch bare earth, hands and feet if possible. Drinking water, lots of water in a day or two after this kind of work really helps to really filter the physical body and the energetic body. And another fun one is just consuming things that are very earthy. Fun fact, dark chocolate, not milk chocolate, not white chocolate, but dark chocolate has a lot of grounding capabilities for when you're feeling kind of not in your legs and your body and your hips that strong, have like earthly set, but kind of like hot air balloon energy. Helps to ground. And these are topics and items that Natalie and I we're going to continue to share in group settings, and will be part of her membership as well as time goes on. But yeah, we'd love to open the floor to anyone who may want to share anything that you may have experienced or otherwise.
Yeah, and one thing with the grounding things, because water was coming in so much, if anyone has a bathtub, they can take a bath or an Epsom salt bath. Or if you take a shower, just so you can imagine like light, the water from the shower is like light, like cleansing you. I feel like water is a big theme. Yeah, if you want to come on and share, all you have to do is you can type in the chat. I'll share or something, and then I will unmute you so you can share. Okay, ask to unmute. Oops, hold on. I figure out how to do this.
Okay. I think I'm unmuted.
Yes, you got it.
Hi, Natalie. Hi, Rod. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for that guided session. I think I wanted to just share that the one, Rod, what you said about the water immediately when we were done, I was so thirsty and I felt like I needed water immediately. And feeling the grounding of the sand, like really visualizing my feet in the sand, felt really good and also very familiar. I'm in New York City and we're still transitioning to summer, so I think we're all waiting for that warm weather. It's been a long winter, but one message that kept coming over and over again, even as I was kind of slipping in and out, was the message to honor my body. I think what I was getting was that sometimes in a spiritual or healing journey, I think there's so much focus on like getting your mindset right and, you know, switching beliefs or coming up with different types of beliefs, and it all feels very heady. And one message that I got from this session was that honor your body in terms of what you're putting in to your body. My coffee addiction came up. It was like, coffee is not good for you. And so I just wanted to share that because I know Natalie mentioned in the beginning, maybe some other people are dealing with like chronic illnesses and stuff. And I myself have been dealing with endometriosis for a really long time. And so this next stage of my journey is to really connect my mind to my body, since I tend to dissociate a lot. So I just wanted to share that that's what I got from the session.
Thank you for sharing. That's so beautiful. It's so funny the coffee thing came up because my Reiki master actually, she was, if you heard the phone beep, that was her being like, sending healing. So but last night I was in a healing with her and she said her guides told her, don't get the coffee. And she went and like, she was like, I want my coffee. So she got it. They didn't have the right creamer. And then she took a sip. It was like, it literally made her throw up, just one sip of it. And then it like, she was like, oh, I'll try again. And it fell off her car when she set it up and just spilled everywhere. And so, yeah, it's just interesting that that message came up for you. And yeah, I totally honor you and your journey with endometriosis and the connection with your body. It's a beautiful journey. It will teach you how to reconnect to your womb as well and create space for you to inhabit deeper in your body where the fear and the trauma may not have allowed your whole spirit to come in. And so, like you said, yeah, spirituality often could be like, oh, up here, but it's also like, how much space can we make in our bodies through healing, through breath work, through movement, to actually be able to anchor down and feel like our body is our home. Thank you. Okay, Anna wants to share.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. So something Rod said kind of surprised me was the whole time there was like this really, really blindingly bright light. And it was just, it felt all encompassing. And even before we like started doing the major shifts, I felt like someone touching my head, and throughout it was just like almost like different hands like touching different parts of my body, and it almost felt like someone was actually touching my foot at one point. And I was just like, what is going on? But like when you mentioned like the Mediterranean, I I've been to Venice before, and so the church that we went to at one point was in my mind. So I thought it was funny that you brought that up. And it's just like I did feel someone at some point like holding me, and it's so weird because I've recently had a chronic illness is something I struggle with, and I finally got to a point where like I got diagnosed, I got the medicine I needed, and like I felt like I actually had the energy to do things that I struggled with, and it was just like this beautiful feeling, and I didn't think I could feel that again. And then of course, and I had to get off the medicine, and so I came here trying to find like that peace within myself and not necessarily having to entirely rely on medicine. I'm not saying that you shouldn't take medicine, because obviously you should. But I actually felt like I got to that point on my own when we were doing this, and it. I'm still a little in shock that I feel this way. But it was beautiful. So thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you for doing this. It was really great.
Thank you for sharing. That's very kind of you to say. It's really funny. You kind of express this, Anna. So when I early on in my Reiki career, what I do now is it's like kind of like Reiki on roids. But when I was just starting to do Reiki, I was working in the oncology units at the teaching hospital of Harvard Medical School, and I went to work on people who were terminal, sometimes very, very sick. And I didn't always even want to touch. I just didn't feel like that was necessary. And it was very,
Yeah.
very amazing experience to find individuals who they would report similarly. There was even once one guy who even like screamed out like ow, because there was just so much energy going to a tumor. And I didn't even
Yeah.
put my hands on him. So the physician and the nurses were like, I'm like, it's real. It really is.
It's really does work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had some of my friends perform Reiki on me, and you know it was before I start to that similar spot where thank you, both of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna read some of the direct messages and then unmute one more person. A cobalt blue book with gold embossing on the cover. I kept trying to read it, but it was difficult to read. It's a beautiful book. Well, the things that came through for me were gratitude, quality over quantity, lighten the load, all aspects of life, follow your purpose, and have grace. Oh, I've seen this book. Okay, and now I'm gonna unmute B. Okay, you're unmuted now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say right off the bat, thank you very much to Natalie and to Rod for organizing this, and to everyone that was here, because I think this was just a really great session. And I think it was just very funny when Rod started right off the bat, because I've been feeling and I feel very open to say it here, because I don't feel like a lot of my friends or family are very spiritual, but I felt a very strong connection to Archangel Michael specifically. And the last couple of days I've been meditating to him. And so the fact that you brought him up right off the bat was kind of very ironic. And then Natalie, for you to then say to ask for help because something that I heard through my meditations is just to not to worry, because I feel like there's just been blocks, and I don't know if it's something to do with my past life, but I just feel like I'm trying so hard in life, but something just keeps knocking me down. So I really appreciate you guys, because what you said in terms of, with Archangel Michael, and then with Natalie, you saying just asking for help and just being okay to receive it, just hit so hard. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
All the synchronicity. We're all such mirrors of each other. That's another thing that I saw when it was like saw one of you, and then we like merged, and it was like, oh, we're like reflections, so it's beautiful how all of we can be in this space energetically together and receive similar messages and there's so many reasons why out of everybody in the whole world, the 30-40 of us are all together right here tonight. Does anyone else want to share before we go, or have a question about energy work or past life stuff or future offerings or anything? You can type that into the chat or raise your hand too if you'd have any questions. If not, we'll wrap up. Oh, my TikTok. Insights on past lives. Do you have any insights on past life stuff? Someone commented. Rod?
Yeah, I would love to share a little bit. Something I have found that I've seen in myself, members of my family, and many people I have found, especially those who I've seen who deal with things that tend to come up again. That can either be lifestyle or that could be medical, as an autoimmune, idiopathic, meaning cause unknown, or chronic issues. And they seem to just plague you. Like you do all the things, but it doesn't really fix it. I'm not saying that working or resolving past life stuff is like a panacea. It's not a fix-all, but something that quantum biologists and theoretical physicists, quantum entanglement, string theory, these things, they actually have really strong relevance in who we are. Like, what are we? Through my own experiences, I have seen that when one has something that they've really exhausted options, at least medically, let's start medically, and there has been no resolution, I think it wise to open the possibility of, if I am a being that reincarnates, I come back again and again, that means that you have lives. And in those lives, you have good times and you have bad. In the bad, that's where tangles and energy are created through trauma, through pain, through negative experiences. What we call negative experiences, I call them learning opportunities. And we are born without remembering these things for the purposes of experiencing a new life. Everything adds, like learning adds. But one thing about energy is it doesn't know time. It doesn't know past, present, or future. And because of that, it is possible that some things that may plague you or follow you in the present day, their origin does not actually come from now. It's like a hologram metaphor of reality replaying itself from another time. So for me personally, when I've gone back to do regression work over 20 at this point, and I've gone through times when I have died, or awful things have happened in other lives. Some other lives really were not as beautiful as I feel the one I get to have now. I didn't have the language or the tools or the vocabulary to understand this is trauma and you must work through it. And if you don't, likely you still have to, just you get more time in a way, through the exploration of one's past lives, even future lives, other incarnations. There's something about remembering things that have happened that can, at least in medicine, really rapidly change one's physiology and inner biochemistry. And for my body, instantly brought healing when I remembered something but also understood the lesson. This I'm definitely happy to go into the specifics if anybody wants to book time with us. And Natalie and I will be having other sort of sessions where we go into the specifics of what are past lives, if they're real, and what does that really mean for your practical day-to-day life and health.
Someone just asked, how would I do a past life regression? Any recommendations? Book a session with Rod.
So this is that we've been getting, especially a lot of inquiry to get this kind of thing going. Something that's curious and something I'm sort of working through in the business right now is many people who are opening and they want this kind of service. Many of them I found are first timers. And that's something that can be a little bit tricky when things can happen on Zoom, or people think, am I hypnotizable? Like, what is hypnosis? Most everybody, like 95% of the population, is very hypnotizable. I think first steps to just maybe get simple exposure is a book. It's by a Yale and Columbia educated physician who taught me, and he's like my informal mentor. His name is Dr. Brian Weiss. He's like the modern day sort of pioneer of past life regression hypnotherapy. He wrote an amazing book. It's called Many Lives, Many Masters. This is one of the top 3 books that changed my life. So if anyone is interested in literature, highly recommend checking out this book by Dr. Brian Weiss. I am sort of restructuring how regressions are happening for my own practice. If people are in Tucson, Arizona, that's where I am right now, and more than happy to facilitate that in person. For remote work, feel free to pop me an email, and I'll be working with Natalie to see if we can maybe get a finer system set up for this kind of thing, because the need it's just presenting itself like never before.
Yeah, I sent so many people his way this week. He also has a full-time job, and I'm just like, well, your TikTok about you went viral, so here's a bunch of people that want to know about this. But yeah, I'm also trained in past life too. Oh, is the experience scary? I feel like with past life stuff, it's really about how you integrate the experience and knowing the whole time that you're safe and that you're almost witnessing it as yourself now versus like actually reliving the trauma within your body and like holding on to something that may have happened in the past. So it's all about like how you go into it and how you're led into it by a trained practitioner, where you can feel held and safe. It's kind of like when you're doing trauma work and you have your therapist and you might be revisiting a painful memory, but they're helping you reassociate it with something positive, or they're helping you, to release it and to let it go. And so you always want to, even if you're holding yourself through the experience, I started doing YouTube videos that kind of led me in. And those were always helpful, but I had a experience with someone who I did not trust, who led me into a past life meditation and or just a past life. I didn't even know we were going there. Anyway, this was a person that I didn't even trust at all. They kind of forced me into the session. They were like a roommate, and I had a really bad experience, and I hadn't done like past life regression since, because they had me really relive it in my body, and they didn't give me time to come out of it and process that I wasn't in that reality still. And so I got really like scared, and I couldn't write what I just experienced. So yeah, we definitely like always, I think when people dive into the spiritual stuff, like you said, Rod, like people are like, oh, I'm new to this. Like, I want to just figure out my past lives and all that stuff. And sometimes if we haven't even like figured out how to relax and heal and look at our own trauma in our own life, it can be like a jump to also do the past life stuff too. Do you agree, Rod, like that?
Completely. For anyone who may be looking to explore this as a therapeutic modality, I would recommend that if you do try to find a practitioner, that in the first conversation you have with them, you understand their credentials. And the second is for them to really make it clear that this kind of therapy, hypnosis is a method of facilitation to help get you in a meditative state. The first step of having a successful past life regression hypnotherapy session is to remember. But remembering alone can actually bring up a lot of triggers, even physiological ones. It can even be somewhat traumatic if a therapist, someone who's trained in talk therapy, psychotherapy, helping you integrate. That's part two. And integration first is a memory, remembering. The second is integration, where one has to make sense of what you just remembered. To answer your question, Steph, it's not really scary. It's like going throughout your day, and maybe this happens. Does this happen where you're what you dreamed about last night hits you, and sometimes you may have had a nightmare. That's what working through trauma through facilitated hypnosis is. It's like you're remembering, like, oh God, that was uncomfortable, but you're fully aware of being like where you are in a safe space. You're in control of the situation. And that's why having someone to kind of hold your hand or hold your mind through it helps, because it's a constant reminder that it's not happening again. It will feel like a trauma. It's like remembering something really horrible even at times, but that's a part of being human. That's a part of the healing. You remember, and then you talk through, like, what did that lesson mean? Why am I recreating it now? That's where the magic happens.
Yeah. What is the fear I might be still holding on to? And for me, it's like been really, all the other past life stuff I had were really beautiful. And even when I saw difficult and scary things or things that reflected my own fear, I always felt like I could hold them and hold space for them. But in that one experience, I was with someone who wasn't trained. And so they didn't know how to hold space for me. And they actually told me to feel it in my body as if it was happening and like relive it. And so I think that's the difference, because what you're supposed to do is like see it, like you said, as a dream or a nightmare, whatever, but it's that. And so it's keeping it kind of separate from you. And that is how, if you go to a practitioner, you know, you can talk to them and make sure that that they're going to do it in an ethical way. Any more questions? And Rod, you're not doing distant past life regressions anymore, just to clarify, as of right now.
As of right now, just because most people who have been coming to me are like brand new at it. And I remember once when I was early on in it, my computer died halfway through the session, and it was like, you know, they're not inexpensive. It's a therapeutic, right? It was like $200 to $300. And it kind of totally botched my experience. And I don't believe that a first timer needs that kind of pressure, which is why one reason I'm trying to restructure, figure out a way to make it better. But if anybody needs support finding a qualified or a vetted provider for this kind of work, I'm more than happy to support. If you want to send me an email or check out my website, which I linked up, and Natalie's as well a little bit ago.
Okay, everyone. Well, thank you so much. We'll be sending follow-up emails out to you guys. Yeah, these are our websites. We really appreciate everything that you all brought to the table, your vulnerabilities, your heart, your love, your energy that all created this experience with us. So hope you have a beautiful night. Take care of yourself.
Take care, everyone. Bye.